Now today I'm going to go ahead and go over reading a routing table and using a routing table to build a topology. So first I have this little, not really a topology, but this little example situation going here. I'm going to go ahead and go to our routing table for this. Just talk about some basic things. Now all of these are directly connected. All of them have the directly connected and the local route right here, route source. And then they each have a parent, which is their the sub network that they're in. And then they are the child routes. These are the directly connected routes. And they have a interface. It also shows you the / subnet for each route. Now, as you can see, this is the router we're on. And we're going to work from the top here. This one is 172.16.18/30, which is connected to Gigabit Ethernet 02. Now, while it's a /30, it's connected on a Gigabit Ethernet line. So, I wouldn't put that as a switch because you don't have any. You would only be able to put a very, very small amount of addresses on that. And you basically only have one. You only have one network. I doubt a switch would be on a /30 network. And if it was another router, well, it could be another router. You could use a router for Gigabit Ethernet. Or it could be a server. As I've shown here, you can put a router or a server on a /30 Gigabit Ethernet. You probably would not put a switch. And then here we have Gigabit Ethernet again. And this one is a /24, which is a full network. So I would say that this would go to a switch. And then we have on this line here, this one's on a serial line, so a router, /30, that's this one here. And then we have another /30 that's again on a Gigabit Ethernet line. So this could either be, again, this server or this router. So the only ones I'm not sure about would be those two. So I just wanted to put those in there just to show you that sometimes you can sort of come up with what it might be, but you might not know exactly what it is. If there were another route, maybe 2 hops away, that were on one of these lines, that would be easier because a server, for example, isn't going to have a next hop behind it. Or you won't have a route to or through a server to somewhere else because the server won't send you anywhere, but you will have one going through a router, so I'll talk about that later. So I just wanted to go over this basic look in topology and the basic reading of a directly connected lines. And I'm going to go ahead and go over here, and I'm going to pull up a routing table I already have to work with, and then we're going to try to build it. Okay, so here is the first routing table. I decided to go with a pretty easy one, and this one, there's no gateway of last resort. Its first line is directly connected and is a Gigabit Ethernet with a /27, so probably a network. So I'm going to go ahead and put our first router here. This will be our router 1. And that was connected with a Gigabit Ethernet. So I'm going to go ahead and, 00. Okay, so that's our first one. And the next line we have is another /27. And it is another Gigabit Ethernet, so it's probably another network. Okay, now obviously I cannot tell you exactly how many devices are at the end of each of these networks, but I can tell you that there are networks there. So we're going to skip down here. We have this 200.200.4, and it's a /30 directly connected on this line here. Alright, so we got, is a serial, so it's a router. And it was, it was 0. Well, I didn't have that one set up, but that's okay. Okay, and then we have this one up here. These are static routes, and they go straight there through the 0.5, so that's probably, your next hop from there. So in that case, this network here and this network here are probably attached to the other side of this router. Well, most assuredly. So based off of what all the information offered to us here, I would say that this is about what our network here would look like. Now, I'm not sure about the number of computers, but I am sure that we have 2 routers and at least 4 networks. Okay, let's go ahead and check to see what that is. Alright, I'm opening up that packet tracer right now, see what I have. Alright, so we have 2 routers, we have 2 networks, and quite a few numbers of computers here, but you can't tell about those. So, as you can see, there's some pretty general information that you can gather from a routing table. And we're going to go a little bit more difficult one. Let's go ahead and move this. Alright, here is our next routing table that we're going to use. A little bit more complicated one. As you can see, it has some R's in here, which means they're using router RIP. We've got some turned here. I'm going to go ahead and start though with the directly connected. So we have our router. We have our router here, and then let's see, our first directly connected line is this one. It is a /30 on a gigabit Ethernet. That could be a lot of things. Real quick, I'm going to take a look. Is that line used to go anywhere? Actually, it is. So I'm going to say that that's a router. So that was on an Ethernet gigabit. Okay, and that's our first directly connected. And then our second directly connected is this one right here. It's also a gigabit Ethernet, but this is a /28. I'm going to put a network there. And that was using 01. 1. Okay. Right here. And then our next directly connected route is this one, another /30, using a serial line, definitely router. I'll put this over here. There we go. Okay, put that like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go back up to the top here. And, maybe right down right here. So this is the one. I'm just going to put that first part that I put. You probably should write out the whole thing. I'm just putting this right here for real quick. And then we're going to go to the top and we have this route here, learned. And this one has 2 routes actually. This one you can get here to this network, which is the /30, by going through our 172. So that's next hop. This is the timestamp, and this is your interface. Remember that this is your administered distance, and this is your metric. So it's only 1 hop. And both actually are only 1 hop. And since we only have 2 routers, it means 1 hop here, and then 1 hop here, and it's a /30. I'm going to go ahead and assume that that means these 2 are connected. I'm not sure how, but they are. 172, 16. Because I don't know how they're connected, I'm not going to try to show it. But I am going to put their network right here. So that you know that there's a network here. You can do like they suggested at one time and put a cloud. There's a cloud. Okay. We're going to go to the next one. This is a dynamically learned through router RIP. And it is 1 hop. And, oh, it's a 192. But it's going out the 172 for its next hop. This is the 172. So it's going to go this router. Okay. And it's got a timestamp. And it's got its 00. Same one as our 172. So this one is out here. So really, I'll go with a network. And I'm going to assign it to this router. Oops. Not a serial. My bad. Okay. Alright, and then let's go to this next route. We have a /30 right here. It is 1 hop away, and it uses the 201 router to get there. Timestamp interface. Okay, so it's a /30. So it could be another router, and it could be a server. It could be something else. I'm gonna yet again use a cloud. So it was the 100 130. Use our cloud. This one's over here. Pretend there's a string. Alright, so then we have this next one, which is a .4. It's also /30, but this one is 2 hops away, and you go out the same interface. Okay, so this is almost probably most deadly a router, because it probably goes doot, doot to the next place. So we're going to use another cloud. And we're going to go ahead and put this like here. And it's just the same thing, but it's up 4. Go ahead and put a line right here. There we go. Just go like that. Oh, very interesting looking. Okay. And there is one more route, but this is a static route, default. Sorry, it is not a static route. This is a default route that has been dynamically learned. It's one hop away. You use the 201 interface, so you go do here, did to this. Okay, 0, 2. All right. So let me take a look at it. Let's see, that was the, okay, 192 and 172. Now I swapped these, but that's okay. And yeah, okay, this is, and that wasn't a full network. It was just a server over here. But you know, that's okay. I knew, you know, we knew that there was a network here of some kind, even if it's just a server. Alright. That's pretty much, we got the general topology of that. We knew that there was something here. Those were the only 2 that I had prepared for us to actually build. We went over it at the beginning and then we went over building them. But I am going to show you how complicated it can get. This is the routing table that I have for a network that I built. And as you can see, it is a lot bigger than the other ones I've shown you. There are only 2 directly connected routes at all. All the rest have been learned with router rip. And as you can see, they can get to like 3 hops and 4 hops up here, and then 5 hops, and just really, really big network going on here. But this is still a lot of information. You probably still find out a lot about what's going on here. There'll be a lot of clouds, But let me show you what this routing table ends up looking like. This is actually the full topology for this routing table. Isn't it nice? So, as you can see, understanding simple routing tables are probably very important, and you can probably build a lot of things from them. But also, really understanding a routing table will help you when you get to things like this. So that's all for how to read a routing table and how to build a topology from that routing table.